Welcome to my new series TechWire. The audio on my YouTube channel was in need of an upgrade, so I went out and purchased the Rode Videomic Pro. Now, this is not a paid review, so the views and expressions within are purely my own. Stick around and find out more. So I wanted to add more professional sound to the YouTube videos that I produced. So after a lot of research, I decided on the Rode Videomic Pro. Now, I purchased it for about $219, which included free shipping. Now, comparatively, you're looking at about 170 US dollars or 110 British pounds. As I was on a budget, I found that the Rode Videomic Pro was the best for the price. Now, my research showed that the Rode NTG2 shotgun mic had a very similar size barrel to the Rode Videomic Pro, and it also produced a comparable sound. The only difference was that the Rode NTG2 was about $100 more than the Rode Videomic Pro. Plus, you also had to go out and buy extra equipment like a USB interface or a portable recorder like a Zoom H4n. Now, I didn't have the money for that, so I wanted something that was really simple, and the Rode Videomic Pro proved to be that, as it plugs straight into my 550D. So no further equipment needed. As with most people, I'm always looking for ways to reduce the time that I spend editing videos for YouTube. Now, the Rode Videomic Pro plugs straight into the digital SLR, which means that I don't have to go into Adobe Premiere and sync the audio later. This is a huge plus in my mind, and it reduces my time immensely. Now, out of the box, using the Rode Videomic Pro with your digital SLR, especially the Canon ones, there's a little feature in there called Auto Gain Correct. And what happens is that every time you go up further than the audio should be, it will automatically correct that. So to get around that, I installed a piece of software called Magic Lantern onto the SD card. And what that does, it actually gives you more options and more control over your camera. So the first thing that I did is within Magic Lantern, turned off Auto Gain Correct, or AGC. The next step that I did is I set the analog gain to plus 20 dB. Okay, this means that I can get a stronger audio signal from the Rode Videomic Pro. I left the digital gain at 0 because digital gain just distorts things. And that's about all the changes that I made to Magic Lantern. Now, one of the things that you should realize is that the Magic Lantern software does void your Canon warranty. So if your camera is outside of the warranty period, go ahead and install it. Why not? There is a chance that it can brick your camera, which means that it will make it stop working. However, the chances are pretty low if you follow the instructions to the T. So if you do feel up to the risk, go for it. The Rode Videomic Pro has some really great built-in hardware features. One of them is a switchable gain control. Now this can be set to either negative 10 decibels, 0, or plus 20 decibels. Now for my videos, I set it to plus 20 decibels because it means I don't need to increase the volume in Adobe Audition after I've finished producing the video. The other feature it has is a switchable high-pass filter. Now a high-pass filter is something that will block out low-frequency noises, such as a fan. Now, I'm in a quiet room, however, I still put the high-pass filter on just to level it out and make sure there's none of those noises in the background there. Another great thing about this mic is that they've included a shock mount with the shotgun mic. Now this is really handy for eliminating any small bumps or movement within the mic, which could transfer down the track into your audio. Now included in the box is also a set of extra bands, so if they do fray along the way, you can replace them. Now I've mounted mine to a boom stand. Now a lot of people will mount them straight to the top of the Canon digital SLR. However, I don't feel like I'm going to get the best audio, so I actually have the microphone a lot closer to me and it's just right about here. So I could actually have it closer, but at the moment I feel like that's the sweet spot for my sound and my voice. So after all the great things that I can say about the Rode Videomic Pro, there are still some cons that need to be addressed. And they're not huge cons, but there's still things that you need to know before purchasing this microphone. So the first thing is the battery. Now, the Rode Videomic Pro is powered by a 9-volt battery. However, it's not included in the box. So before you purchase this microphone, make sure you go out and get a couple of 9-volt batteries. The next thing about the battery is the actual compartment where it's stored. Now it's a little bit tricky to get the battery in and out, but what I found is actually taking off the foam cover for the shotgun mic actually makes it a little bit easier to get off. So just be really careful because it feels a little bit flimsy and like it might snap. Now the second con is that, and I've already sort of discussed this, but I boom my Rode Videomic Pro. Mounting it to the top of the camera, it just doesn't produce a rich enough sound for me. Whereas booming it, I can get a better quality sound, get it closer to the subject, which is myself, and it just sounds a lot better. And one of the most important things as well is that when you are booming or setting up a microphone, especially a shotgun microphone, is to point it straight at your mouth. Okay, by doing that, it actually captures the voice as it comes out and rejects everything else behind it. If you have any questions, or maybe you own a Rode Videomic Pro already and you're looking for some tips or techniques, leave me a comment down below or through any of the social media links in the description. I'm always open to answering any questions that you might have. Just don't be shy. Imagine, learn, create. Bye!